Hey guys, Dustin Mansell here, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. And in today's video, I've done a lot of videos, and this is one of my most special videos. I got a chance to sit down one-on-one with Scott Lomu, the president of Element, also one of the stars and co-stars of the Jungle Gold, which was on Discovery Channel. As you guys know, I usually get my hands on a lot of these projects very early on, okay? And by the way, before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below so that way you get to be the first to get access to these videos as well. It's gonna be a lot of videos on Element. I can promise you that much that I'm gonna be throwing out there. But I get early access. And I've sat through and brought up over 100 people to a webinar that we held about a little bit over a month and a half ago with these guys, the first one that they did. I also had another one of their private webinars I got to sit down and watch as well. I got to actually fly out to Utah to sit down with Scott Lomu as well and ask some questions. And I said, I gotta get a one-on-one with you. I gotta record it, because what he was telling me, the ecosystem, the vision that they have will blow you away, okay? I don't care if you're brand new to cryptocurrency, if you've never heard of cryptocurrency, if you've never heard of NFTs. I know you've heard of gold before, and what they have is crazy. I know you've also heard of like the Amazon forest just going away, and a lot of that is due to mining and what they're doing to stop it, and also to give rewards with Element is just, it's so important. I just wanted to sit down with him and go over everything in detail and break it down, ask him some questions. So in this video, we're gonna go ahead and talk to Scott here, and from there we're gonna kind of break down and see where he's from, what his background is, and then we're gonna go into what Element is. This is gonna be exciting. So Scott, thanks for coming in on here. Thanks for joining me here. Can you start with kind of introducing yourself to our audience?
Yeah, appreciate it. So I live in Utah here. Been here about 22 years, and I'm going to continue to live here as long as I want to wear this ring. When you marry a Utah girl, you become a Utah guy. With 5 kids, and so got up here in Utah, got right into real estate, started doing stuff with the Olympics, with rental properties, and had a really good run like everybody else in real estate until about the 2008 time period, and ended up in this really weird journey, ended up gold mining in West Africa. And during the course of my gold mining, spent about 5 years there, did a mining project in Kingman, Arizona, did one in Guyana. We were doing some river dredging, and have done some joint ventures and other projects all over. And so been in the mining business since about 2010 in one capacity or another, whether it's in consulting, investing, or actually doing the physical mining. And got involved there. It's mining is tough. Mining is a very difficult way to make money if you're not one of the big guys, and if you don't have unlimited funding. And came back from Africa probably 5-6 years ago, and again back into real estate, doing some other gold stuff, and then got involved with this blockchain project. I got called by a friend that I met 22 years ago, and told me he wanted to do a blockchain project. I knew he'd had incredible success with previous projects he had done, one called Gala, Green. And yeah, he said, listen, we are blockchain with a purpose. There are a lot of causes out there that blockchain now makes viable, because there've always been causes. There's always been reason to help and to make change. But until blockchain came along and created an incentive for people to get involved in solving problems, there really wasn't this motivator or this fire to get the world to pay attention to some of the problems that we're having. And so that's kind of the genesis. So I've been involved here as the president of Element Blockchain for about a year now, and things are moving fast. We've got some incredible things that we're going to talk about today, some initiatives, but the real purpose of what we wanted to talk about today is why we're doing what we're doing. I'm gonna focus heavily on the problems that we're trying to solve, and how the involvement of you guys, of everybody out there who wants to be involved in crypto or blockchain, how you can be rewarded for helping. Now, of course, in a perfect world, everybody would want to help just for the sake of helping and solving problems. But we realize that until you create an incentive for people to jump in, you're going to be limited on the amount of people who will pool their time, talent, energy, resources to solve problems. And we are blockchain with a purpose. There are several different blockchain companies that we work with together, even though each one of them is a separate own entity. And when I reference other blockchain companies, I'm not going to say we're going to have the same success as them, or that, you know, we're related to them, you know, in any way other than the ways that I'll lay out. But we are here to solve problems, and blockchain is going to help us change the world. You know, most people don't really understand what blockchain is. They get confused by it. They're not sure the difference between blockchain and crypto and how they work together. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I'm excited, and thanks for having me here today.
Yeah, I'm for one of the guys that does not really get blockchain at all. I've done some research, some of the past webinars that we've done with you. You've really broke it down and really open up to what it really is. And in this presentation, I'm sure you're going to show us exactly what that is too. By the way, down below, there's going to be shortcuts. And if you want to learn what blockchain is, what NFTs are, you know, any other shortcuts that are down there, you could go ahead and fast forward to if you want to. If this is your first time watching this, I very encourage you to watch the whole entire thing and just get rid of all your distractions and watch it, because this right here can, and I believe will, be life-changing. So Scott, go ahead and get into your presentation, man, and here, rock it on out.
So we are Element. We're Element Blockchain, and again, we've been in business for the past year. And what we've been doing in the past year is developing our technology, getting our blockchain redone. I mean, we have an existing blockchain, and I'll tell you the genesis of that blockchain here in just one second. But we're redoing the blockchain because we feel like we're going to take over the world. We're going to bring as many people in to this project as humanly possible. And as we do that, we're going to solve some real problems. And so Element was born out of, sorry, let me click this. So just a quick disclaimer. I do have other disclaimers. Some of the statements we make are forward-looking statements. Some of these projects we're talking about could change, could adapt, but we're not a gold-backed security. There are a lot of competitors out there of ours that attach the price of their coin to the amount of gold. We do not do that, and I'll explain why. And then any notes purchased are expected to be turned on and live in Q3. So our founder became a Bitcoin miner back about 2014, 15, 16, and he did very well. For about a 3-year span, he was one of the top Bitcoin miners in the United States, did extremely well. And off of the heels of that, he realized that there were some great things that blockchain could do. He's one of these early adopters and realized that blockchain is going to change the world. But there were also problems with mining Bitcoin. It got expensive. The technology outdated itself quite frequently, and it kind of became anti what Bitcoin was supposed to be. Bitcoin is supposed to be this decentralized, open, you know, let everybody participate. And then the mining of it became so expensive and so time consuming that only the few were able to get in and mine Bitcoin. But he loved blockchain. So what he did was he started, actually, I'm one screen too far. No, I'm not, I'm good. Okay, so he created his own blockchain technology, used a lot of the proceeds that he made from mining Bitcoin, and started his own blockchain. And the first blockchain that he started was actually a company called Green. And Green, because he saw all of the energy that it took to mine Bitcoin and thought that's kind of a problem. So he came up with a new blockchain and started a company called Green that turns energy into a currency. And you're about to hear a lot. You're about to see Green presented on the market space. We're going to have a lot of articles. We're going to have a big release. We're kind of doing a re-release July 4th. But the reason why you haven't heard of Green is because he also started another one at the same time called Gala. Now, Gala, most people have heard of. They're a top 50 coin on Coinbase. Gala was started off of the same blockchain technology that our founder developed. He partnered up with a guy named Eric Schiermeier that was the founder of Zynga. They're the creators of games like Farmville. And Eric Schiermeier is also the co-founder of MySpace. Whether that's a flex or not, I don't know. Depends on your opinions on MySpace. But serial entrepreneur, big tech, Silicon Valley tech guy, and they took Gala big time. So a lot of you have heard of Gala. Some of you own Gala. Some of you might own Gala nodes. And so they started Gala. And that's why green got abandoned a little bit, but it's all hands on deck, and green is about to make a big splash on the scene. You guys will hear about it. Green's actually been around, and we've been selling green nodes for about as long as we've been selling Gala nodes. We've been selling Gala nodes and green nodes for about 3 years now. And so both of these projects are the baby of our founder, and they've really cut a path for us in the blockchain space. Gala, of course, is a gaming blockchain. Green is an energy blockchain designed to turn energy into a currency and to solve real world problems. And I'm not going to talk too much about green, because when we re-release and do our big announcements, I want them to be able to share their story. But it's mind-boggling. It's phenomenal. It's such an incredible blockchain solving true real-world problems. And so this is just kind of a screenshot of what Gala has been doing. Obviously, with the crash, it's been a little bit lower, but it's been up to as high as 78 cents. And then you can see here, this is if you wanted to go buy a Gala node right now, it's going to cost you. I did this screenshot about a week ago, but a Gala node is about 105,000 USD right now. They started at about 2,000, but the price of nodes always increases, and there's a limited number of nodes. And so Gala is getting really close to selling out all their nodes. So to say that they've been a success is a massive understatement. There are still people buying nodes every single day at 105 grand, because it's a great investment. When you look at the history of the coin and the volume that the coin has. So people are still looking at Gala as this incredible product to buy. So I say that not saying that we're going to copy Gala. I'm not saying that we're going to have the same success as Gala. We have a common owner. And so we're going to try to follow the path. Obviously, when you see a successful node, a successful blockchain, you want to try as much as you can to duplicate that. And where we can and where it's appropriate, we'll follow their same path where we can. So we have developed multiple blockchain companies because there happens to be a lot of problems in the world right now. So within our family of companies are about 14 new blockchain companies. And I only put 6 of them on here because our time is limited and I want to stay focused on the problems that we're trying to solve in mining. So Switch, Connect, Liberty, Green, Galvin, Give, these are all blockchains, all originally forked off of that original blockchain that was built for Gala. And so I'll give you an example. So Galvin here, down in the middle bottom, is a blockchain that's designed to encourage people to take care of themselves, to be healthy. Like I mentioned in the intro, blockchain is designed, or blockchain allows for providing an incentive for people to do good. So with Galvin, for example, if you own a Galvin node and you want to participate in the Galvin ecosystem, you can earn a lot more of their reward by working out. So you record your workout on your phone, submit those results, get rewards. Diet, submit your diet, get rewards. Upload your personal health records to the blockchain, get rewarded for it. Use one of the telehealth doctors, get rewarded for it. So Galvin takes the stand of, why don't we reward you to stay healthy rather than you have to pay when you become unhealthy? And you can do that by providing these incentives through the blockchain. So Liberty is vets helping vets. So we can incentivize you for hiring vets. Liberty is run by a lot of special forces, former special forces guys. There are plenty of vets that need help. And so you can earn rewards by employing vets. And Liberty calls themselves the guardians of the blockchain. Not only do they do physical security, but they do blockchain security. And there's plenty, we can go 2 or 3 hours on what Liberty does. These guys are fantastic. And so the point I'm trying to make here is there are so many problems out there in the world right now. Give is our charity. Sometimes people are hesitant to give because you don't know where your donation is going and how it's being spent. Well, on a blockchain, with its open, transparent capabilities, you can see where every dime is going, and you can donate with confidence through Give. So needless to say, there are many problems in the world that can be solved with blockchain, and people are now being incentivized to join this ecosystem by buying a node and getting involved. So the blockchain and node technology allows, this peer-to-peer network allows people to receive a reward for being a part of a blockchain. And the easiest way that I can explain blockchain and what a node is just an access point into a blockchain. So if I want to be involved in Element, I buy an Element node, which is basically a software download, and that plugs my computer into this peer-to-peer network that is verifying transactions and doing the work that a blockchain does, storing data, storing NFTs, all the work that a blockchain does. And for doing that, I get rewarded for that. So nodes earn rewards, and that's the key driving factor that allows us to go out to the masses and to say, listen, there are problems, help us solve these problems, and you'll be rewarded for it. And you know, again, this is the basic breakdown of how a blockchain works. You guys, if you have a basic knowledge of how a blockchain works, then you know that this diagram will make a little bit of sense to you. But if you don't, you can pause this video and study this blockchain of how it works. But this diagram is basically showing these are the mechanics of how the blockchain works, and we'll get into a little bit more detail on how this allows us to give people rewards. So another huge problem that exists out there is with gold and other precious elements, and elements are controlled by the few. So right now, most of the gold mining that's done is done by countries or a few big companies. And so I always ask people, listen, you know, when I'm trying to lay out the problem, I ask them this question. I say, how much access to gold do you have? Other than going to a store and buying gold or buying it on these exchanges, you know, for most people, they don't have access to gold. The mining of it, where the real profit is controlled by the few. So another big problem is the environmental and community exploitation and harm that happens in the mining process. It is shocking. I've experienced it firsthand. In fact, I've been part of the problem. I was the guy tearing down cocoa fields and polluting rivers inadvertently and doing all the things that make gold mining and mining of other precious elements so destructive to the earth. So this is a picture from Ghana. If you can see up here toward the top where my cursor is here, that's the river. That's the original river. And this is the aftermath of a Ghanaian gold mine. Now, this next picture is an aftermath of one in the Amazon. This is exactly what it looks like to gold mine. Alluvial mining, it's not very deep. You dig down, 3 to 12 feet, you tear up the earth, you pull out all the gravel, you wash it, and then you spit it back out. The vast majority of the time, reclamation is not done. So when a gold mine leaves, this is what it's looked like. If you don't believe me, pull up Google Earth, zoom in central Ghana around a city called Obuasi or Dunkwa, zoom into the river, and this is what you'll see on both sides of the river for many, many miles. This is the toll that mining takes. So there's a lot of corruption in gold mining. Governments, so when I was in Africa, there were 25,000 illegal gold miners there. They all came in through customs. They didn't sneak into the country. They all landed on a plane and went in. So these governments will allow the corruption and the destruction of the environment so that they can take their kickbacks and get their percentage of the gold revenue. And so a lot of this intrusive and destructive mining is done in coordination with governments. And so China is a big problem right now. China is hoarding gold at an alarming rate. Article after article, get on Google after this call and Google China's gold reserves or China gold hoarding. And it's going to pull up some pretty scary articles, especially this one, The Truth About China's Massive Gold Hoards. It talks about why they're hoarding gold. They're hoarding gold because they're smart. And countries like the United States, we're being really stupid. We're getting into debt. We're printing money like it's nothing. And that is going to change the economies and the politics worldwide. It's going to put more power in the hands of governments like China that abuse people and abuse the environment. They don't care. And so it's really scary what's happening. And this is one line from that article. It says, they, meaning China, buy in preparation for a new monetary order, not as a trade they hope earns them a profit. So there's some really nefarious stuff happening. And I won't go into any of it today, but to say, it's some scary things that are happening out there, and countries are working with these exploiters of communities and of the environment to do that. So gold hoarding by the elite and powerful countries, these are all major problems that are happening right now. And so one of the problems is, so you look at the power that China is gaining from their gold hoarding. So, if you guys don't know, all oil in the world has to be traded in the USD, in the dollar, but because of the power that China has with their gold reserves, they're viewed as more stable. And so now you got Saudi Arabia. This article is from March. Saudi Arabia's out there saying that they're considering selling oil to the Chinese using the yuan instead of the dollar. That's going to cause World War III. That's going to unseat the US dollar as the world's reserve currency and cause some major problems. Why? Because of the power of gold, because of the gold hoarding that's going on, and the result that's happening of that gold hoarding is destruction for everybody else. So how do I know about these problems? Spent a couple seasons on Discovery Channel on a series called Jungle Gold. And if you guys will indulge me, give me 2 minutes and I'll show you firsthand video evidence of how I found out about these problems.
So due to copyrights and Discovery Channel, we cannot put on our YouTube video that clip, but down below in the descriptions, you're going to see 2 different videos that you can click and watch. One's 2 minutes, one's I think 3.5 minutes. You should definitely watch those. It's about, you know, how dangerous this really was, you know, gunshots, fights, really some scary, scary stuff. So check out those videos below. We're going to get back into it and fast forward to where the videos are cut out in this video, and enjoy the rest.
All right. So a lot of problems in the gold mining world that I was able to witness firsthand. And again, thinking I was there to solve my own problems, I didn't really realize the problems that we were causing. And it's destructive to the village. It's destructive to the earth. There's just so many problems that arise from illegal gold mining and even from legal gold mining. So Element is here to solve a lot of these problems. Our core values say that we believe more people can generate more wealth from industries that leverage pristine natural resources than from exploitive industries that extract them. So let me say that again. I'm going to highlight that. So we believe that more people can generate wealth from industries that leverage pristine natural resources than from exploitive industries that extract them. Basically, what we're saying is we think that if you leave the gold in the ground and create economies around digitizing gold, we can solve more problems. That doesn't mean everybody's going to get rich. That doesn't mean we're making any guarantees that the reward generated is going to earn you anything. But we believe that in this new metaverse, in this world that we live in now, with everything being digitized, that we can create more opportunity for those people by leaving the gold in the ground. And I'm going to explain in the next few minutes how we're going to do that. We also believe that wealth or influence shouldn't be generated or maintained at the expense of another. So how does this blockchain solve problems? Number one, we keep the gold and other elements in the ground. Keep the gold in the ground so that they cannot be taken out and used for all these bad reasons and harm that it causes. So Element blockchain creates new economies around in-ground gold and other elements. So this is very important. The gold isn't going to leave the ground. So since the gold's not going to leave the ground, we have to create a digital replacement value. We have to create new values around in-ground gold, since the physical gold will never be extracted and put on exchanges and be given value out in the market. So we create digital replacement value. Now, we do this by having nodes, by creating NFTs, through gamification, and through our eVault system. And we're going to briefly discuss each one of these so that you get a full picture of what we're trying to accomplish, and more importantly, how we're trying to accomplish it. And even more important than that, why we're trying to accomplish that. So again, this little graph here shows the digitization of gold. Gold, physical gold, we digitize it, we spit out through the Element blockchain digital gold. So does keeping the gold in the ground solve problems with mining precious elements? Well, of course, the elements are controlled by the few. Okay, so by us buying the gold and taking it away from the few and giving more people access to it, it eliminates that problem. Environmental problems, community problems, of course, that's eliminated, because if there's no mining, there's no problem. Corruption, same thing. We're not going to eliminate all corruption. There has to be mining that continues, because gold is in every phone you're holding, every computer you're watching has gold in it. But we can eliminate a lot of the corruption by creating an incentive to not allow illegal mining and gold hoarding, right? So if we can get in there, tie up these gold mines, buy them, incentivize the gold miner to work with Element instead of selling them to some of these countries that are using it for these nefarious purposes and hoarding it, we can eliminate them.
We had some technical difficulties here, but he's going to get into the next slide right now.
First, we create an incentive. Sometimes it's a financial incentive for the gold miners to stop mining. I can't just walk up to a gold miner and say, hey, I understand you've got $6 billion worth of gold in there. How about you don't mine it and be a good guy? He's going to tell me where to go and how fast I can go there. So, but if we can create through the Element blockchain an incentive for this gold miner to not mine, then he will not mine. And if that incentive is faster, cheaper, safer, more profitable, then they're going to choose to work with the Element blockchain. Now, there's a lot of gold mines out there who are about to start mining or raising money, or they're going through the process. And those are perfect for us because we can go in there and say, listen, rather than go raise $100 million to start mining, why don't you work with Element, and we'll explain to you how an Element node could potentially offer you more benefit than actually mining. So second, we have to create an incentive for the Element community to participate in digital mining. We need an army of people. We need tens of thousands of people to own the Element node, because the Element blockchain is going to be robust, and we need as many people out there running nodes as possible. And for other reasons, when we buy and sell a node, we're going to use a portion of those proceeds to help in these causes, to help tie up gold mines, to help support villages so that they will stop some of the mining. Third, we have to create a financial incentive for those who are negatively impacted by gold mining. So I have to be able to walk into a village and tell that chief and this village, listen, do not let the gold mining happen. And if you were using that gold mine to feed your children, you would tell me where to go and how fast I could get to go there, right? But if I can give you an incentive that has the potential to be much greater than the percentage of the gold revenue that you got, maybe you would listen to me. And that is exactly why the blockchain that we're building out can solve these problems, because it gives us the ability to provide an incentive for those who need the gold mining to stop the gold mining. So first, we acquire gold mines. We buy gold mines or have the assets in the ground pledged to the Element blockchain. We're currently working with 26 gold mines. We've sent out LOIs. We had multiple people make us offers. When we first started this, we weren't sure how it would go. When we approached gold mines, a couple of them were like, you're crazy. I don't understand crypto or blockchain, go away. Now, when we call gold mines, sometimes we're not the first person who's called them. There are other companies out there who have also understood that you can digitize gold and provide value. But we are now trying to select which ones we want to start with. We have so many options between Central America, West Africa, East Africa, South America, Arizona, Nevada, California. There are mines everywhere that want to be involved in the Element blockchain. And the beauty of the Element blockchain is all this will be public. We're just not saying, oh yeah, this guy's interested. You will know the details of everything that we're doing because we're an open blockchain, and we want our community to know, to understand. In some cases, we'll keep it quiet because we don't want villages to be exploited. If we go and tell you which village we're working in Ghana, and other people find out about it, they will take advantage of that village. And so to protect some people, in some instances, we won't tell you which mine specifically we're working with, but everything else you guys will know. So the owner of the mine is compensated with Element nodes, and sometimes a combination of cash and nodes to stop the mining and to join the Element ecosystem. Now, some people say, well, what if they join, but you can't track it and they just start mining anyway? Well, we have things in place that allow us to know if the mining is being done. And if it's done, we just turn their nodes off so that financial incentive stops for them. So after we acquire the gold mine, a very critical step has to happen. We have to verify the in-ground assets. So we do scanning, we do LiDAR, we find out not only how much gold is in the ground, but where the gold is located. And I'm going to explain to you right now why that's such a critical step. So we're contracting with a company out of Reno, Nevada, that is going to partner with us to go out and scan all of these gold mines that we are acquiring, because we have to know where the gold is and approximately how much gold is in there. So there's a report out there that a lot of gold mines do called a 43101. A 43101 does the scanning, and then they go and they do drill holes. So this map right here that you're seeing, every one of those dots is a drill hole. And so we can pull up the core hole drillings and determine how much gold is in this gold mine and where it's at. Now, why is it important to know how much gold is in the ground and specifically where the gold is? That's where this gets fun. We are creating a digital version of gold and other in-ground elements in this metaverse. We're going to be digitally gold mining. In order to digitally gold mine, you need to know where the physical gold is, because whatever you're mining digitally has to match up with what's in the real world. You got to remember, we are putting elements and gold and other precious elements into the blockchain. In order to do that, you have to have a real world equivalency, and I'll explain that. So mining will take place in the metaverse so that the elements can stay in the ground. New values are created around these metaverse elements. And this big shift is happening right now to where everything is being put into this metaverse. Everything is being digitized. There's a metaverse version of everything in the physical world, and we are going to bring elements into this metaverse. So we are the building block. We're the, these elements are the building block of the world. We're going to be the building block of this metaverse by bringing in elements into this metaverse. So first, we have an NFT project. So go back to what I just said. We have to know how much gold is in the ground and where the gold is, because we're going to create NFTs of all the gold mines that we acquire and that are pledged into the Element ecosystem. So I have a special guest with me today. Gabe Thane is the director of our NFT project. Gabe is going to come on and explain, just so that number one, you get a break from me, and number two, Gabe is one of the smartest guys I've ever met, and he's going to explain how the Element ecosystem works with NFTs. And go ahead, Gabe. I'll go ahead and turn the time over to you now.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, just a little bit of my background, right? I've been involved with technology, crypto, gaming, and marketing for many years. I've built and sold multiple companies, some of those marketing companies. And, our team here at Element has delivered multiple NFT projects, the team that I'm working with. And so we're really excited about this project and all the things that Element's wanting to do. A big piece of this is that, the NFTs are really just another piece of utility to enhance the great benefits that Element's already providing, right? Just a very high level for those who may not be familiar with exactly what is an NFT, right? It stands for a non-fungible token. Non-fungible meaning it's a unique element that can't be replicated. It's a unique piece, right? And so they're one of a kind, typically images tied to a blockchain, and then those NFTs can be used as a ticket, membership, pictures, and more. That's what a lot of the historical NFTs have always been, is like this kind of cool looking image that can bring you clout and renown amongst your peers, or celebrities are all into those kind of things. For us, another piece of this is our NFT collection, and this is a great view to be looking at, is it has a lot more utility than just a cool looking image, right? That has rarity and all those things. Our NFT is going to have attributes that will be representations of the mines and these 43101s, right? So direct correlation and representation of actual mines that we own, as Scott has talked about, or mines that are pledged, right? And so our collection, like many, will have, can be flipped and sold based off of their scarcity and rare elements, those kind of things. But there's also a secondary market that when people have an NFT, can be sold on a market like OpenSea that has royalty elements that we can tie into the smart contract for the NFT collection. And we're going to be using a lot of those royalties for philanthropic efforts, right, towards helping some of these villages, those kind of things. The view that you're looking at is kind of that example of being able to slice up a 43101 and assign some of these rare attributes, right? Like this red zones are like, hey, these have more gold versus these cooler zones have less gold, and can tie some of those attributes to our NFT collection, right? And so we have all these royalties and things that we're wanting to do, as well as we're currently developing a browser game that's going to provide additional utility for the NFT collection, right? Things like the ability to stake NFTs, or by stake, I mean kind of put in reserve your NFT, hold it in a place that says, I'm going to hold on to this. I believe in this project, the things that you're going to do. And by doing so, you'll be able to generate daily rewards, right? And these rewards can be used to get additional NFTs, used in the browser game marketplace we're going to be creating, and potentially, have a trade value with tokens on different exchanges, right? Primarily with the idea of, having an exchange with the Element token and being able to provide some value in that way. Here's another kind of view or example of, these images have unique properties that can be tied to this 43101. Another piece of our project is also perfect. This is the gaming web app, right? Passive staking. based off of rarity, be able to gain certain amounts of rewards on a daily basis and trade those in for different things. We'll also be able to participate in real world events, right? If you are a holder of this NFT, we're going to be doing mine tours and experiences. We're going to be doing a worldwide kind of geocaching project for gold and nodes and other fun, cool things. And so there's a lot of utility to be had and value to the holders of the NFTs, as well as, providing additional utility for Element and, the blockchain that's being developed there for mine owners and, the philanthropic things that we want to do with this collection. And to Scott's point, perfect. Moving on to the next piece, we're going to have multiple NFT collections depending on the mines or groups of mines that we're working with. For example, as a Ghanaian mine, we'll have, the attributes will be, Ghanaian in style and design, call back to, the groups and people who have sacrificed to be able to do these kind of things. Alaskan, attributes, those kind of things as well. All of this to really build in some longevity to this project, right? The last thing we want is to develop an NFT collection that has a quick win, some value to it, but then slowly tapers off, which is pretty common in the space. For us, we want to build not only just more utility but longevity, and that's where multiple mines, multiple collections, being able to be a part of multiple collection holders is going to provide even more incentives and value. So the idea of getting daily rewards for being a holder that may potentially have monetary value in the future is fun and exciting stuff, and we're really excited about the NFTs.
Awesome, thanks. I appreciate that, Gabe. So yeah, our NFT project is, we're really excited about it. We think we got something really unique that's not being done out there, and again, it just allows us, and we'll talk a little bit more about what those NFTs, how they can be, how they can be useful and maybe even profitable. Again, we try really hard not to talk about the potential of anything that we do, just because we don't want to give a hey, Scott said I was going to make millions. But the more benefit, the more use that our NFTs can have, the better chance that these could be something very unique that's never been done. So second, we're going to gamify gold mining. So we have a friend in the mining business, a guy named Todd Hoffman. He's the star of a Gold Rush on Discovery Channel. The same company that made my TV show made his TV show. So we got to know each other through there. And, we're in talks with him to work with Element here, maybe be a brand ambassador. He loves what we're doing. But by gamifying gold mining, it gives us the ability to bring in more people. So listen, I'm not a big gamer. I think the last video game that I ever played was a Nintendo NES, like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out or something like that. But there are a lot of people who are gamers out there. And the reason why we want to gamify gold mining is because, you look at Gala. Gala was able to have so much success with their nodes because the gaming community is so huge. And so feeding off of that, we think, listen, there has to be a mechanism in which we are verifying the in-ground gold and putting those verification results into the blockchain. Why not create a game? Going back to the slide that I talked about, why it's so important to know what's in the ground, not only, as you just saw, as Gabe explained, for our NFTs, but also for the gamification of gold mining. We can create a game that matches up with the real world results of where the gold happens to be and how much gold happens to be in a specific gold mine. So this is a game that's called Planet Gold Rush that had about 1 million downloads, that was developed by a guy named Cooper Dubois with his partner Todd Hoffman from Gold Rush. And it went really well. That it's a fun game, and so we've been kicking around the idea of possibly doing a joint venture, with a gaming company or maybe even with Gala, and maybe doing something to where we turn mining strictly into a digital affair, right? So if we got to buy a gold mine, you verify where it is, and then you take the results of that gold mine, right? And then you move them into a game. So the users of the game don't know where the gold is. They just have to buy a plot of land. Maybe they can go out and test it and whatever and find, oh, this one's getting good results. Maybe I buy this plot of land. Now we can have tens of thousands of people who are out there playing this game and verifying real in gold assets. And for doing so, they're going to get rewarded with our token, or with our reward. It's token coin. We use the word reward of either Digger, which is what the game is going to be called, that hopefully can be exchanged for Element, or maybe of Element. And so picture this: tens of thousands of people come in and play our game. they are mining, and the mining results match up with real world gold mines. And for that, they get the element reward or the element coin. So, and the process of them doing that is actually the mechanism that verifies and puts those results into the blockchain, so that they have verified by having fun and playing the game and being rewarded for it, the gold in the ground. By doing so, they're ensuring that the real gold stays in the ground. So mining in a game keeps the elements in the ground. Mining in a game allows access to more people. So I go out and I buy a gold mine. I'll give you an example. We're in negotiations for a mine out in Arizona that has a results on it that show 6 billion in in-ground assets. It's owned by one man. We are in negotiations to buy that. He's going to take a little bit of cash and nodes in exchange for the gold mine. And we'll make that announcement when the ink is dry. Well, now we take that mine, we make sure it never gets mined, but we create a digital version of that mine in our game. And now tens of thousands of people can jump in and mine the digital version of that gold. And the digital version that perhaps someday has value. We don't make any promises or guarantees, but what a cool concept. Now we've got tens of thousands of people who have access to the digital value of gold, and it's not just being hoarded by one person, and there is zero effect on the environment. There is zero effect on communities who are affected by it. There is zero corruption, and everybody gets to benefit from that. What a beautiful thing. Like what an amazing concept that we're able to do now because of this metaverse, because of this blockchain technology. Mining in a game creates more utility for the element coin. We look to have a lot of use for that element reward. I put the word coin in there. That should say reward. We're trying to stay super compliant, but we look at our reward as kind of a frequent flyer mile. What can I do with an element reward once I've earned it? Well, maybe you can buy upgrades in the game. Maybe you can donate it to a village. Maybe you can use it to go on trips. Maybe do some gold mining with us out in Alaska, or go on a trip, humanitarian project with us out in Ghana. Or maybe you can use that to exchange it for physical gold. We're in talks right now to talk about how we can do that in a compliant manner, to where the gold, the digital version of gold that you earn with the element reward can be exchanged for physical gold. Now, some people say, well, doesn't that undermine your entire premise of element? No, because there's a lot of gold that's already been mined. There's a lot of gold that's already out there. And so we are looking into, can we use that element reward to exchange for physical gold? Now, by preserving gold mining, preserving the gold in the ground, by playing the game, there's a possibility that you get rewarded with a token or with a reward that can be exchanged for physical gold. That is a very cool concept. And if we can do it without, and again, because it's a commodity, we just have to get CFTC approval, but there is that chance. We've been talking with the lawyers about possibly doing that. So mining in a game creates opportunities for NFT owners. So let's just say, going back to that slide where we showed, the gold mine divided up into those different NFTs. Well, what if in the game, you bought the piece of land that somebody had previously bought the same piece of land in an NFT? Well, we're trying to work it out so that NFT owner gets royalties, gets rents on the person who's playing the game. So let's just say I bought this piece of land and it matches up with an NFT that somebody else bought a few months earlier. Well, guess what? A percentage of everything that I mine goes to the NFT owner. There are other things that we do with the NFT, like carbon credits. So let's just say somebody comes in and wants to buy X number of carbon credits from us. Well, the NFT owner should benefit from that as well. So we are creating just an incredible economy, all based on solving problems. And we're trying to make it fun. I'm not a gamer. I'm more of a node guy. I'm more of a set it and forget it. I want to go buy a whole bunch of nodes and just, earn my reward. That's okay too. And we'll explain why. So mining in a game also preserves the environment. So by gamification, as one of the ways that we verify the gold in the ground, we're giving access to more people, keeping the gold in the ground, and providing an incentive for others to get involved. So finally, we have what we call the eVault. The eVault system that's being built out right now is another way to add value to that element node. So keep in mind, what does a node do? A node is verifying transactions, storing the data in the blockchain, doing all the work that the blockchain does. And so we want more work to be done by the node. We want your node to be solving so many transactions that you're going to be getting a ton of rewards. So here's what the Element eVault is. The precious element supply chain is complicated. So let me give you a diagram. So when you go to mine, let's call it diamonds. So there's a diamond mine, and that mine kicks out basically rocks. They have diamonds in them. It goes to a rough trade or an aggregator. Then it goes to a diamond cutter. Then it goes to a diamond trader. Then to a jewelry store, a wholesaler, retailer, all the way down to the customer. That entire process should be on a blockchain. The entire process should be done via NFT. The entire process should be handled by Element. And so the Element blockchain will provide the ability of the supply chain industry, the supply chain for the jewelry industry, to not only show proof of origin, but proof of ownership all the way from the mine to the consumer. Listen, 5 years from now, everything's going to come with an NFT. It's good. It's the new receipt. It's a new digital receipt, proof of ownership. Everything's going to be NFT. And so we want to get out ahead of it and create a system in which your node is working, because the more work your node does, the more rewards you're going to earn. And so we want to put this entire supply chain process onto the blockchain so that I can know that my diamond isn't a blood diamond. So right now that's done by the Kimberly process. And it's just it's a process put in place to ensure that the diamonds you bought aren't conflict diamonds, that someone didn't lose an arm so that you can have a diamond on your ring. The entire Kimberly process can be replaced with blockchain, because the blockchain allows us to track the origin. So we see every jewelry store and precious asset dealer to be using the Element eVault to secure and digitize every asset sold. Every time a physical asset's created, a digital asset in the form of an NFT will also be created. And then an associated NFT could be minted on the blockchain with identification tied to the item's serial number or RFD or other unique identifier. So all diamonds have kind of an RFD etched into the bottom of it. And watches, things like that, jewelry, a lot of those have serial numbers. And so we're going to create a lot of utility for the Element node, because the more work that your node is doing, the better it is for the node owner. So between NFTs, between our node technology, between this eVault, we can solve a lot of problems by creating an incentive for people to get involved with the Element blockchain and solve some real world problems. There's also opportunities for us to use these assets that are these NFTs, these jewelry NFTs, and create new economies around them, like record of repair history warranty. But you can also leverage those assets and do microloans for these villages. So when we talk about everything that's being done on the Element blockchain, as the president, this is the message that I pound into everybody, and it goes like this. If I walk into a village in Ghana and I pull a gold mine, or I keep a gold mine from entering that village, if the Element ecosystem doesn't create a greater net benefit to that village by removing the gold mining, then we have failed. So here's what I mean by that. When I get a gold mine out, I have to go convince and sit down in front of fathers and the chief of the village who is responsible, and convince him that what he's doing is wrong for the environment. It's ultimately in the long run going to be wrong for his village. They tear down all their cocoa plants. They're destroying the river. I have to be able to give him an incentive. I have to be able to tell him nodes are going to be better for you than the gold. And the way that we do that is when we do an NFT project, let's just say it's an NFT project in a village, a gold mine that we have acquired in a Ghanaian village. A percentage of the NFT proceeds go to that village. Every time we sell a node, a percentage of that node has to be used to acquire more gold mines and to benefit that village. So we do that by putting money aside to educate the village, to send their kids into the capital city to get a better education, to build water wells, to build schools, to build hospitals in these villages. And so the benefit to these villages has to far outweigh the benefit that the gold brings them. And if you can do that, you're going to have success. Same thing with the guy or girl that owns the gold mine. I have to be able to sit down with them and convince them. Now, sometimes it's easy. The guy in Arizona with a $6 billion gold mine, you know how much money he has to raise before he can start gold mining? 50 million. So if I go to him and say, keep the gold in the ground, don't touch it, don't go raise 50 million, I'm going to give you nodes and some cash. And we believe that because of the problems we're solving and the community that we have, that there'll be greater benefit to you to do this than to actually gold mine. Some of them are easy. Others are, we're working with active gold mines and we're saying, listen, you've got a 30-year gold mining plan. Give me the gold that you're going to mine, that you were scheduled to mine in 25, 30 years. Pledge it to Element. You will be rewarded now with Element nodes and sometimes with cash, because we've got to stop this gold mine, this unnecessary gold mining. And so those are the problems we're trying to solve, and that's how we do it. We create new economies around gold. Again, we're not saying, hey, your gold mine has $50 billion worth of gold in it. Let's attach it to the coin and let's give you $50 billion worth of digital coins. Doesn't work like that. We're creating new economies. And the way that this world is moving with the metaverse and with these all things having a digital value, we are able to do that. So the node, everybody that buys a node is going to be plugging into the Element blockchain. And by doing so, by hitting certain criteria, things like make sure your node's plugged in 6 hours a day, make sure you're doing, there's a whole list of things that need to be done in order to qualify to earn the reward. We are going to create, we hope, because we have 100,000 nodes that we're going to be selling, tens of thousands of people out there who are helping us solve problems. Remember, even the guy that says, I just want to buy a node, set it and forget it, never think about it, is contributing to this ecosystem and solving problems, because a portion of what he spends on the node is going to be used to support villages, to buy gold mines, and to support this ecosystem so that we can solve some real problems. So the Element node, an Element node is a computer or a server running an Element node software. There is no hardware to buy. It is a simple Element download. Now, if you want multiple nodes, we had someone yesterday commit to 400 nodes. He's going to have multiple servers and use like a third-party company like Vultr to run his nodes. And it's usually like $5 a month per node. And so you don't have to buy hardware. You can, if you want, you can buy a server and run 10 nodes on it. But typically you're going to just run one node on your computer. But an Element node is a computer or a server that runs the node software. This software records and verifies new transactions on the blockchain, which is a digital public ledger. The nodes make up the blockchain and do the essential work of validating these transactions. Now, the Element node holders and operators are rewarded daily with Element digital rewards. These can be swapped, traded, or used to purchase digital assets in the Element ecosystem. And everybody always asks me the question, well, what's the coin going to be worth? No idea. We have nothing to do with the secondary market of what the coin will be worth, what people will think. The better we do our job, the more we can, solve problems. Fine. If people see value in that, then they will determine what the coin is worth. We have no control over that. There's no common enterprise between us. There's nothing that we can do to make the coin worth more. That is all in the eyes of the community, of the people who are buying the coin, because eventually, people will want to buy the coin if it's listed on an exchange. But right now, we don't sell a coin. We sell software that plugs you into the Element blockchain, and it kicks out a reward. And we cannot guarantee if there'll ever be any value to that reward or not. We just can't. Most people who get into the node business assume there will be, and that's their prerogative. We would all love to be Gala, but we don't know. No one has a crystal ball. There's no way for us to tell. So as the value of Element digital rewards grows, so does the value of Element nodes, since they validate the network and supply the digital rewards daily. This can make owning and running a node potentially, profitable. We don't know, again, but so we try to stay far away from making any claims on what this node will be. But people who get into the node business, they get in it because they think there's going to be an incentive for them, and honestly, we hope there is for them, but we have no way of knowing that. Now, this is where it gets tricky. The nodes scale in price. I showed you a clip at the beginning of this, and we're about to wrap up here. I appreciate you guys staying with us till the end. The nodes scale in price. A node that originally started for $2,000 with Gala is selling today for about $107,000. because as one node sells, the next node goes up in price. At Element, we've chosen to keep the price steady until the node is turned on, till it's actually producing rewards. We want to reward our early adopters, not punish them by increasing the price on them. The price is 2,500 and it's going to stay that way, hopefully for another month or so. Then it's going to go up. So as the nodes sell out, they get more and more expensive. That is the way it works with our nodes. So again, here's the example of Gala. A Gala, if you look up here where it says price 1.3 million, that's what it costs. That's how many Gala rewards you can exchange for another node. When in the beginning, it was much less than that. It was about 2,000 USD. Now it's well over 105,000 USD. The same thing will happen with Element. So nodes are limited. We're only going to produce 100,000 of them. Okay. And they will sell out in time. And once they sell out, then the plan is to turn your node into an NFT so that you can sell it. You will not have the ability to sell your node while Element still has nodes for sale to the public. Once we've sold out, then your node, if it's got value, if it's producing, if there's a coin that actually has value, who knows? Maybe your node will be worth something right now. But people who own Gala nodes are going to be in a position very quickly to sell their nodes because they're almost sold out. So the node will never be less expensive than it is today when it's being sold by Element. Maybe someone, when the nodes sell out and somebody on the secondary market wants to sell their node, maybe they want to, fire sell it and sell it cheap. But the cheapest the node will ever be when being sold by Element is today. That's not a sales pitch. It's just the facts of how this works. And so, especially when we go live, the node price will probably change weekly. So every Saturday we'll go in, find out how many nodes we sold, and boom, it's going to be more expensive. So we want to reward the early adopters. The early adopters have the greatest incentive. So when they do, they convert to NFT and they can be sold. And so why buy nodes early? Because of the tokenomics. Right now, the plan is to issue 50 billion rewards. And we're going to give half of those rewards out in year one. So in year one, there won't be a ton of nodes sold. That'll be where there's the least amount of nodes being sold. So do the math. There will be a few nodes out there, but half of the coins go out, or half of the reward, sorry, I keep using the word coin, half of the rewards will be issued in year one, which means if you do the basic math on it, the rewards issued to those nodes in year one will be very, very high. There will be a lot of rewards issued per node in year one. So how many? I don't know. It just depends on how many nodes are in the network and qualify. But, if 25 billion are going out in year one and there's only, 10,000 nodes out there in the marketplace, each one of those nodes is going to be rewarded a lot of each one node will kick out a lot of rewards. Will the rewards have value? No idea. So half the tokens go out in year one, and then we do a halving every year. So those rewards are split daily between all eligible nodes in the network, and there's a halving annually. So in year one, when 25 billion coins go out, at the beginning of year two, there'll be 25 billion left. We're going to have that. So we will issue 12.5, 12.25 in the next year after that. Year after that, we'll have it again. 6 billion coins will go out. Now, there's been some talk. We've contemplated maybe changing the tokenomics and only giving out 25% of the reward in year one. But for now, we're going to stay with the model that everybody else has used, which is 50 billion coins, half go out in year one. So you can see why people clamor to get in early. And I like it that way. I like it because you guys take the most risk. The early adopters with a new blockchain have the biggest exposure, because a lot of the things we talked about haven't even been launched yet. There's not even a reward that's being issued yet. It's not on an exchange. And so you take the biggest risk, and so you should get the biggest reward. And that's typically how it works. So, and those are the risks, right? We, financially, we're great. We don't have debt. We've already sold, and we're not even in pre-launch. Like, our pre-launch hasn't started yet. You guys, we have 3 people who are talking about Element right now. A lot of you know one of the guys, Eric Garrison. There's 2 other guys. That is it. You might find 1 or 2 YouTube videos out there. Other than that, you will never have heard of Element. you're only hearing about Element because a few people out here told you about it, like Dustin. And so that is it. But you very soon will hear about us. I can't reveal anything because it's not official yet. But there are some very, very large celebrities, a couple of rappers, some of you guys know about, that are thinking of coming on. Obviously, we're hoping to, Todd Hoffman has signed his LOI that he wants to be a brand ambassador for us. But there are some big things happening, and we're going to have our coming out party here pretty soon. But nobody knows about us, and we've already sold a couple thousand nodes. A lot of people from the Gala community know about us because of our common owner, and they've bought a bunch of our nodes. But we're confident nodes are going to take off. They're going to sell like crazy. Now, will there be any value in the reward that it kicks out? Again, let me be crystal clear. We have no control over that. It might take off, go to the moon. It might go to zero. We have no idea because that's out of our control. So you want your node turned on when we go live. Day one, those nodes, they will have the fewest nodes in the network, and they are going to kick out a very large number of rewards. That much I can say that I'm confident of, because that's the smart contract. That's the tokenomics. They're going to kick out a tremendous amount of rewards in those first few months. So early adopters, you get rewarded. Make sure your nodes are live when we flip that switch. Okay. And again, so I'm going to wrap it up with this. Everything has to go back to providing a greater net benefit to the earth and to the communities who are affected by gold mining. The world needs gold. The world needs gold mining. We would cease to exist as a nation and a world without mining. But a lot of the mining is done illegally. It's done with corruption. It's done at the detriment of the environment, and it's done at the detriment of people. That is the mining that Element seeks to stop, because about half of all the precious elements that are mined are stored in a vault. Half of all the gold just goes and sits in a vault to give people power. We want to take that power back, make gold mining more democratic, make gold mining more accessible to the masses, and to allow this new burgeoning metaverse to support what we're doing. So that's all I've got for you guys today. For those of you who've been directed to this webinar, go back to whoever directed you to this webinar and talk to them about how to go and access the Element blockchain. And appreciate your time. Thanks, guys. Now we'll open it up to some questions.
And everything that I was writing down that I was going to ask you about, you kind of hit it on the head. But a couple of things I wanted to go over really quick. I know we're kind of running late on time here, so we'll do it quickly. But like the pre-launch, like we're not even in pre-launch yet. And that to me it's just wow. I talk to people about it, and I'm telling them, like, you're going to hear about Element very, very soon. And you're hearing about it now. And they're like, well, how'd you get in on it? I go, I know some higher up people, I know some people that maybe introduced me to some people. And I didn't even know about Gala. When I talked to some people about Gala, and they're like, man, I could have got in on it. And I didn't. And I'm like, well, you got a shot to get in on something right now, with the guy who's, has some common interest with Element and Gala. So that's crazy, man. Anybody else have any questions that they want to jump in? Said, I'm sure you probably got a couple things that you rack in your brain when you started talking about the gold, but anybody else have something that want to maybe ask Scott here?
By the way, just so you guys know, we've got our CMO, chief marketing guy, who's also spearheading the NFT project. Chris Williams is on here with us as well. So I'll have Chris jump in and help answer some questions just so you guys can get to know him as well.
So from here, the couple of people that I brought on to watch this one-on-one interview with Scott and I, we were able to ask him a bunch of questions. Now, we can't put those questions or those answers on YouTube because a lot of them are confidential. And there's just some things that the company does not want to go public quite yet. But when you join my team, you'll be able to get to these on these webinars. You'll have first access, hand access to Scott as well. Very nice guy, very cool dude. Got to meet him in person, hung out with him for the day. It was super, super cool. We do not know the exact time when everything's going to launch. They're saying on the website that the end of Q3, possibly the beginning of Q4, but nothing is promised. Down below, there's a link you could click to order your node. Be the first to jump into this opportunity with us and really grow the ecosystem. Like, we are here before the pre-launch, and a cause that's so good. There was, as you heard on his presentation, the kids that were actually sucking out the soil to get the gold out, and there's mercury in it. I mean, we could get rid of all that. We could just get rid of all that and really mine the correct way and just come and be a part of this this movement that we're going to have and have. Don't sit here and look back 2 years from now and go, man, Element, I had the opportunity and I didn't do it. I mean, it's $25 to get a small node, $2,500 to get a big one. The rewards that you're going to get back, at least the coin's going to be pretty big the first year, right? What the coin's going to be worth, we don't know, but it could be a lot. All right, it could be zero too. But as you mentioned, because we're jumping in with high risk, right, we're going to be able to get the highest reward too. So thanks for watching this video. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to hit the link to get started. There's also a Telegram chat in there too. You can come and join our Telegram chat and ask any questions that you want to. And that's really it. Hope to see you guys on the inside. We'll talk to you soon. Dustin Mansell, I'm checking out.